The fishermen who used the port near the big station were bringing in more and more fish than ever before. Each day, the sheds on the quay side were piled high with boxes. Much of the extra fish had to travel by rail, so the train, which Henry and the other engines had to pull, became heavier. One night, the Fat Controller decided that extra vans must be added to the train the men called the Flying Kipper. The only spare vans were old ones that had been unused in sidings for years. The workmen soon cleaned them up, and they were added to the end of the train. Henry grumbled about it, but there was nothing that could be done. "You'll just have to put up with it, Henry," said his driver. "At least the extra load means that we can have a bunker up Henry Gordon's hill." Duck often waited at Edward's station so that he could help heavy trains by pushing them up from behind. Tonight, Henry made good progress in spite of his extra load. When they reached Edward's station, his driver stopped the train beyond the platform. Then, using Henry's whistle, they gave the special signal, which meant they needed help getting up the hill. "Do-do-do-do-do-do," whistled Henry. "I need a bunker, please." replied the Duck. "I shan't be long." Duck buffered gently up to Henry's train. He was not coupled on, so Henry could run on without stopping when they reached the top of the hill. "Ready," whistled Duck. "Push hard, push hard," puffed Henry. "We're doing it, we're doing it," replied Duck. Henry was pulling harder than he thought he was. It was a dark night, and Duck felt the weight on his buffer slacken. Because of the dark, he could not see that Henry had taken the train on his own and was slowly drawing ahead. All trains carry red lamps on the final vehicle to show that the train is complete. This is called a tail lamp. Duck's driver began to be worried. "There's no sight of a tail lamp," he said, "but we must keep going." Duck whistled, but there was no reply from Henry. Henry, meanwhile, was going well, but his train seemed to get heavier. He had to keep moving, but he could not avoid slowing down. Suddenly, from behind him, came a splintering crash. Pew! Duck's front bent in pale, and pieces of broken wood began to fall on him, one of them denting his funnel. He stopped quickly, and Henry, feeling the jolt, stopped too, just beyond the top of the hill. Over Gordon's hill, a smell of fish hung on the air. By the light of torches, the drivers and firemen tried to work out what had happened, while the guard ran down the hill to warn the signalman. When daylight came, it was all too obvious. The lamp iron on the old van, which should have held the tail lamp in place, was broken, and the lamp had fallen off at the bottom of the hill. The van had been invisible in the darkness. "Well, it was not your fault, Duck," said the fat controller. "The lamp iron should have been checked. No worries. We'll soon have your funnel and front straightened out." "Thank you, sir," said Duck sadly. "Thomas told me once to be careful about fish. He was right, sir, wasn't he?"